America's schools have become one of her biggest battlegrounds. Our children are being taught, their paradigms are being molded from a secular humanistic mindset. Secular humanism, from a Christian perspective, is simply a religious worldview based on atheism, naturalism, evolution, and moral relativism. And those who are its proponents have done an incredible job of infiltrating America's school systems with its teaching. Early humanists understood the power of influence that education had over the generations. Consider what early humanist Charles F. Potter had to say about education and its influence. What could the theistic Sunday schools, teaching 1 hour, 1 day a week, do to stem the tide of a 5-day humanistic academic program? The ideas of the classroom in one generation affect the ideas of government in the next. Simply stated, one generation plants the trees for the next. And look at what we've planted. School violence is at an all-time high, while test scores are at an all-time low. Statistics clearly show this. But please don't let the realities of our condition today discourage you. This is simply a call to action. I have great hope that the Christians of today are going to rise up and once again lay Christ as the foundation. Let it not be said of us that there arose a generation after us who did not know the Lord. I earnestly believe that America is going to return to its roots in education. We will see reformation in the education mountain.
Our national debt is about $11.5 trillion. That's roughly $36,000 of debt per citizen of the United States. In less than a decade of time, America has gone from being the lender to now being the borrower. Our lack of fiscal discipline and our obsession with quick profits have made the U.S. industry very vulnerable. Our economic problems will not be solved by simply just throwing more money at them. The only way to fix the economy is to restore the moral fabric of the entire nation. The bottom line is not are we able to make a difference, but are we willing? We need to reestablish accountability, start moving God back into our daily business practices, stop overworking, start honoring our creditors, and reducing our debt personally and nationally. I see godly principles being brought back into Wall Street, the Fortune 500, and the rest of corporate America. I see social responsibility being brought back into the rightful hands of the church. I believe with the right training, birthed in prayer, formed in the fires of reformation, that the kingdom leaders in the business mountain of our generation can help reform this nation and carry this great awakening. I see the intentions of God being brought back into the business mountain.
The family mountain is being attacked like never before in American history. If current trends continue, 50% of American marriages will end in divorce. Half of those will result in divorce because of internet pornography. Suicide is the third leading cause of death among adolescents and among teenagers. 34% of young girls will get pregnant before the age of 20. There are approximately 130,000 children in the United States waiting for a permanent adoptive family. We must have a reformation in the family mountain. I see marriages restored, becoming what God intended them to be in covenantal partnership. I have never known an America without abortion. It's been legalized my whole life. I see life valued again in American families, where moms and dads adopt displaced and orphan children and treat them and love them as if they were their own. I want to see a generation of youth that have the revelation of the family of God and know truly who their Father is, resulting in a transformed society. If morality is brought back to the family, we will see the transformation of America. We will reform the family mountain.
Media is an incredibly powerful force in America. Because of media, we are living in a day where pornography is a click away, television newscasters can shift the outcome of an election, and sex is a driving force behind many advertisements. Media utilizes every written language, printing press, television network, radio station, and internet to communicate unholy agendas all over the earth. This has resulted in a perverted view of women and corrupted the innocence of America's daughters. The news media is shaping the worldview of an entire generation. What if the voice of media was the voice of one crying in the wilderness, preparing the way of the Lord? Imagine the image that God has for his sons and daughters being exalted above the degrading standards that the media currently portrays. Imagine voices of holiness rising up and proclaiming moral truths. I pray that the body of Christ can become a radical voice to the nations from the pulpits of media. We will put the image and voice of God into the mountain of media.
The religion mountain in America is suffering. While congregations throughout the nation are shrinking, the U.S. population is actually growing. What does that look like? That looks like 1,800 occupational ministers quitting each month. That looks like 4,000 congregations shutting down each year. If you took all the unbelievers in this nation and formed a new country, it'd be the 11th most populated country in the world. Now contrast that with Mormons, who are growing by 1 million every 3 years, and the 1,000+ Muslim mosques have grown by 25% in the last 7 years. While the statistics concerning religion are staggering, I'm confident that Jesus will build his church. He's pouring out revelation like never before about sonship and identity and authority and blessing, and this is producing signs and wonders all over this earth. In the last 100 years, more people have been persecuted and killed for their faith than all of the time since Jesus died and resurrected. Christianity is still the largest and fastest growing religion. We will bring reformation to the religion mountain.
Since God's standard has been removed from the entertainment industry, man's standard has lowered, and an R rating of 10 years ago has become a PG-13 rating of today. Daniel and his Hebrew friends had become 10 times greater than all of the other men in the courts of Babylon because they set themselves apart to God. As a result, he gave them dreams from heaven, divine understanding into the world's problems. And the entertainment industry and the arts have become a big problem. Without the purpose of God within arts and entertainment, it becomes amusement. And amusement simply means the lack of thinking. I believe that in the same way as this mindset led to the fall of Rome, it could lead to the fall of America. All of this may sound alarming, but I believe all these problems can be solved by the people of God setting themselves apart to Him to dream His dream for art and entertainment and release a radical reformation on the art and entertainment industry. I see a mighty army of young people learning the trade of art, music, filmmaking, and theater production to once again infuse God's creativity into the hearts and minds of America. I see the dreams of heaven being brought back into the art and entertainment mountain.
Over 200 years ago, America's government was founded on biblical principles and a great reliance on God's wisdom. It is horrifying how we have forsaken God, abandoned those principles of righteousness and justice, and sent Him the message, "We don't want you and we don't need your help." Because of the passing of ungodly laws, America now has the blood of 50 million babies on our hands, and the rampant violence, perversion, and darkness that governs us is destroying a generation. Abraham Lincoln said, "America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves." Despite this grim reality, I know our government is going to change. I believe God will be honored, life will be protected, righteous laws will be passed, and unrighteous laws overturned. I see government leaders that know they are answerable to God. Benjamin Franklin said, "The longer I live, the more convincing proofs I see of this truth, that God governs the affairs of men. And if a sparrow cannot fall to the ground without His notice, is it probable that an empire can rise without His aid?" This is the America I see, and this is my dream for my government in my lifetime. We will reform the government mountain.
We will bring reformation.
Reformation.
We will reform
Reform.
Business,
Education.
Religion.
government,
Family.
art, and entertainment.
The mountain of media.